Hey, what's up, everyone? Sean here again. Got another episode. Today I got a good buddy of mine who I served with in the army for a little bit anyways. Name's Devin. He's from Alberta, so he's a veteran of the Canadian Forces as well. He deployed to Afghanistan. He's a gun nut, I know that. Likes shooting, and he's a bull rider, into rodeo, and he's a goalie too, so he's pretty fucking weird because he's a goalie. But how's it going, Devin?
Good buddy, how are you doing?
Not too bad, man. Just making do with what we have to start the summer here. What
Yeah.
so I know we haven't talked in a while, but so what are you in? Last I heard you got out of the military, and I know you were riding bulls and doing some work with horses and stuff like that. So like where are you at now? What's going on in your life now?
Well, right now I'm my full-time day job. I'm working for my old man. He runs an auto body shop or owns an auto body shop, and I manage it for him. And then I have a leather company on the side. And I had my when I got out of the army there, I went down to Oklahoma, went to my horseshoeing course. Came back here and decided I like horses, but I don't like people. So I I still got a few clients to doing that and do my own horses, but yeah, I'm pretty much just doing leather's kind of my main business other than working for my own man.
Nice, man. Yeah. Are you still riding? Are you still riding bulls, and or is that kind of just put on hold because of the whole COVID stuff?
Yeah, we got some practice pens. We just kind of get together and ride a couple bulls here and there, but yeah, the COVID deals kind of killed everything for this summer. There'll probably be some like just standalone events this year. I think all the rodeos got canceled, so we're gonna be probably as soon as the borders open up, man. I'm heading south. I,
Yeah, for sure. I guess like riding bulls and like rodeos and stuff, like it's obviously it's huge in Alberta, but like in the States too. And I imagine the states are gonna be opened up. Obviously they're already ahead of us, but like I would think the states will get into some events like that maybe in August or September. So
yeah,
maybe there's a
well,
chance. Maybe
I think they're already kicking off in a lot of places. I see a lot of guys that are already starting to ride. So I'm just
nice.
yeah. I mean, if that border was
Yeah.
open, man, I'd be ripping down there real quick. So it's kind of
Yeah. Yeah,
we
it's
it
too
is what it
bad.
is. We got to deal with the cards we got right now. So
Yeah, man, that sucks. I know you know what's crazy? It's a crazy year, whether you agree with everything or not. You know what's crazy when the Calgary Stampedes cancel? Is that like the first time it's ever been canceled or ever like that? I think
I believe
maybe.
so. I
Yeah.
think so. I don't remember it ever.
So
Like, I mean, I'm only 30, but I don't remember it ever being canceled before. I'm pretty sure I read something about that. But
yeah,
yeah,
and the Calgary Stampede is friggin' everyone knows that. Whether you're from Alberta, obviously, or even people friggin' across the country
down
know
south.
about
Oh
the
yeah,
Stampede. Yeah, it's the biggest party in fucking Canada. Like, yeah, no, it's
yeah,
great. Yeah, that's all. That's like, I mean, it sucks. Like everyone's plans got a wrench thrown into them this year, I guess, and
yeah. But it kind of
that's
leaves you open to pursue other things you kind of been putting off too. So in a
that's
way,
true,
I
and that
guess it kind of opened up other doors. Like, I mean, I'm got some young horses here. I'm trying to get going, which I probably wouldn't have had time to do if we were rodeoing. So, and it's kind of like
that's
that for
true.
everyone, it seems. So,
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's good that you're able to take up that, and there's other stuff you can do. For me, like I all my stuff is kind of canceled for the summer, so I don't know. I'm not as interesting as you. I don't really have that many other avenues to go. So I'm like, the most exciting thing for me that I procrastinated was like trying different types of beers and breweries and stuff like that.
well, I mean, that's
That's
not a
been my
bad thing to
fucking
do either.
yeah. No,
I
I
mean,
know. I'm hoping.
if you wanted, we could get you on a bull. Like,
Oh man, I've ridden one at the bar before.
it's not the same, but I mean,
Oh man, yeah. No, yeah, me like everybody, like all my plans got a wrench thrown in them, and but whatever. Like I'm sure I'll come up with something to do in August. I'm gonna be taking some time in August to do something. So it'll be
Oh
something
yeah,
I wouldn't have done before, regardless. So, and whatever. I'm hoping to get to the mountains here at some point and just do maybe some backcountry hiking.
for sure.
You know,
Yeah, that stuff's
it's
all opened up now. Well, some of
I've
it.
been yeah, a little bit. I guess like I've been out of the friggin' army long enough when like I'm looking to go back country, like not even like luxury camping, like not even in a campsite, just getting juice, like
That's
back
exactly.
country, back country.
that's
Just
that's what I was saying to my traveling partners. I'm like, guys, you guys want to go do some backcountry? Like, we'll just go hike it out into the bush and the foothills here, and we won't bring tents or nothing. Like, maybe we'll just scrounge for stuff. And the guy's like, he doesn't even want to do it. And I'm like, man, I've been out of the army for too long because I thought that sounded kind of fun.
yeah, exactly. Just bring bring some water, some one of those what are they called? For like not tablets, but like the packs for water.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just bring one of those, and then you just made up some weight to carry like some flask of whiskey or something.
Yeah,
There
it's
you
all
go.
about the whiskey. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
but,
we'll see what happens, but hopefully you for your sake you can get back on the Bulls.
oh yeah,
But
we'll be at
yeah,
it soon enough.
yeah. What
It's
I haven't like I said I haven't freaking talked to you in like 2 years, so like what's has there been any interesting bull stuff? Like have you I don't know, you haven't got hurt or anything, have you? Like it's been all smooth or
shoot, when did I go? I got last time saw you was probably like 2017. So
yeah.
let's see. Since 17. Yeah, I did actually. The list is long, so I know there's just a few ribs. Like
Yeah.
broke a couple ribs, some tears and stuff. Yeah, just basic stuff like that. Nothing crazy
Yeah,
though.
it's part of the gig.
Yeah, it's gonna
Yeah.
happen when you ride. So, but I actually
Yeah.
right before I got out there, right because I rode in Wetaskiwin, I got knocked right out, and I remember sleeping in the back of the company lines for like 2 days solid, and
Yeah.
CQ kind of lost it a little bit, but that was your boss
Yeah.
at the time, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's good. Sleeping in there, hey, could be worse. I've seen I've seen people I know people that have slept at work when we were in at who just got drunk at the bar and slept there so they could wake up at work.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it, like it's either an AWOL charge if you don't wake up, or
Yeah.
you just sleep at the company lines. Like,
Yeah. And those are the decisions that I miss about the army. It's like now I got like real decisions. In the army, it's like the army takes care of your life. Like you just have to make the small decisions. Like,
it's true.
do I drink tonight? Do I don't know, whatever. Do I come in late or try and hide or make up an excuse?
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah, I
man,
miss those days. Those days are
I miss
gone.
them,
But
but I don't miss them at the same time.
yeah. Yeah,
So
it's tough. Like I know I find it funny like talking about like missing the army and stuff like that. I don't I can say that I don't miss the job, but I miss the I guess like the lifestyle, if
yeah,
that makes sense. Like I don't miss the job in terms of the day to day what you actually do cuz
yeah.
in my opinion like 5% of the job that we did was fun and like cool and what you signed up for and like 95 was probably like shitty.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what
But
I was telling guys I worked out the other day. I was like, "Do you miss it?" I was like, "Man, half the time, or not half the time, but like you said, 95% of the time, you're just it's stuff that you didn't sign up for. The stuff you didn't sign up for, sitting around doing nothing. Honestly, I mean,
yeah.
where we were, it wasn't really we didn't really have a job to do back at home. So, but when
Yeah.
you actually were doing your job, that's the times that I actually miss that actual soldiering aspect of it, like
Yeah, the
being a
soldiering. Yeah.
the shooting, the fighting part, like that was the that was the stuff that you actually saw on the commercials and got in to do. So
Yeah, you
that's the stuff that you miss.
definitely miss that stuff. And then like I
Yeah,
said, like I miss the lifestyle and that like I was saying, like it seems I don't know, it seems like your responsibilities in life are like your job is takes up so much of your life that your lifestyle is this literally like going in, hanging out. It's like a team, right? Like it's like a locker
Yeah.
room every day. Like what, and you know, you go away with go on tasks or whatever, deploy, and it's kind of like it's fun like outside of the work, like the lifestyle, like I say,
Yeah.
like the guys, the guys, the boys, whatever,
Hmm.
and like whatever, like the functions, like the parties, the post exercise like smoker parties out in
Yeah.
the field, like that stuff was fun, and you'll like you don't get that stuff much outside of the army. Like there's stuff in there that like you know that isn't normal in other jobs. So
Yeah.
that aspect I miss. It's like, but
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's
That's yeah. There was. I mean, I kept my my friends, I guess I'd say, in the where we were like in our unit, we're pretty tight. Like there's, I think we had Corporal's Corner.
yeah, yeah. That was the
That was
scamming.
yeah. I
The
mean,
best scamming gig of all time. Like it wasn't. It
it
was.
was it was, but those group of dudes we have in that area, like we're the guys that we hung out with. Like, I mean, I didn't
Yeah,
hang out with a bunch of other guys. And, like, you know, and you get to that level where it's just like you don't want to hang out with. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with the new guys coming in, but at the same time, it's like they're just, you know, they're too happy.
yeah, and that's the thing. You
You
don't
know,
want to. Hey, I respect the army enough to know how much I bitched when I got out, and
yeah,
I would do everything. Like I was never lazy, but I
yeah,
bitched enough where I still respected the army and like our unit enough that I would try not to bitch around the new privates. So
yeah.
that's where we had the our little hangout. So we had a
We could
little
just get our
hangout.
frustrations out.
Yeah. So yeah, we had this little hangout, and it's not. I can't call it a hideout because we were out in the wide open of all of our bosses and everything.
Like
But
right
because
outside the
we,
office.
yeah, but because we were so in the open, when their stupid jobs would come down, we'd get left alone because they would go find the people that tried to hide, and we were so in the
Yeah,
open, it was almost too easy. That's why
it's
I
hiding
say
in
like,
plain sight.
yeah, we just sit there all day and whatever, play games, throwing chews, play games, and and it's I guess scamming, but if you're good at scamming, you're probably good at being a soldier too.
That's true. They go hand
It's
in hand. Like,
yeah, scamming is only bad if you're like a lazy scammer that gets caught scamming, and then you're just a shitty soldier.
yeah, that's
That's the way
and
I
there's
always see it, anyways.
yeah, that's too true. No, whatever happened to that corner? Did they get taken down or?
Oh yeah, our hangout or our little hangout got disbanded. So
Oh man,
and I'm pretty sure without name dropping that everyone, if we're going off like five or four or five people that were usually there, I think everyone's out now. So
oh okay,
yeah, so it's different. It's everyone's moved on,
yeah. I bet you
which
go. I
is
mean, I went back to my old like the unit I was in before the one we were in, and I didn't recognize a single face. Now being 3 years, I guarantee you there'd be maybe a handful of people I know.
yeah,
Like
yeah, 3 years for sure. Like the turnaround's so big
like
and
I.
yeah, yeah, it's different now for sure.
Uh,
But
I mean, I remember playing hockey. Like, man, that was almost the best scam. It was a scam, but it wasn't a scam. Like
mhm.
that first
Playing
year I was
hockey,
in
yeah,
with you, we I think we had hockey Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon, and then we had games like every second afternoon,
yeah,
like during work hours.
yeah. It's the best thing in the world, and like we could actually say so. Obviously, there's haters that don't play sports,
Yeah,
and you know, fuck those guys. But
yeah,
if anyone, so everyone who's like in the army would know what we're talking about in the Canadian Army, anyways, because everyone knows the hockey scam or the hockey players. Uh, and yeah, we play hockey every day during work hours, just play like some shinny or whatever, like for half the year, and get
yeah,
to go Friday afternoons. I can say this now because we're out. Friday afternoons, we'd go and leave early, leave work early on a Friday afternoon, shut it down, early weekend, go play hockey for an hour, maybe have a beer or something on the bench, and then go home still while everybody else is still waiting to get off for the
Yeah.
weekend.
And then
Yeah.
even that one year, like we had, I mean, when like they invested a lot into that A team, and like we had practice, like even during the day, they're like chalk talk in the afternoon, like we didn't have games, so it
Yeah.
was just like this is
The
this is retarded. Like I'm actually getting paid for this right now.
yeah, the Canadian Army likes their hockey. And
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
it's one of those things like you don't get many jobs outside the army. You can be like, "Okay, I'm getting paid right now to play hockey for half of the day. Half of my work job during like the hockey season when we're not on exercise or training or whatever is playing hockey."
yeah. That's and they want you to do it. Like when you have COs that actually like are actively want their team to win, like
Yeah. Oh yeah, because like
it,
sometimes you don't, and playing hockey is becomes a bit of a hassle. But when you have a CO who likes, I don't know, likes his unit to look good and wants his sports to do good in sports, and then you know they let guys go to play hockey or whatever sport. Like there's other sports too, but hockey rules
yeah,
all because
it
we're in
does. It's
Canada. So
yeah.
yeah, man,
Have you
it's
played much since the army?
I I can say that I haven't put on a pair of skates since I got out of the army. My last like game I played in the army, so it'd be about a year and a half now
Man,
since and I haven't put on skates since. I just like
wow.
I had the COVID thing kind of. I was gonna play like in a men's tournament this spring, and COVID canceled it. But
Nah,
before that, I don't know. Like don't get me wrong, I love hockey, but I don't know. The one thing the army gave me with playing hockey is like, uh, I don't know. It's like it was competitive, right? Like
yeah,
it was fun. But when we play games against other units, like
it was.
guys in the yeah, guys in the army are so competitive and hot headed that like you want to beat these other units. So it's like
Well, you
competitive, and
get
it's like it gets chippy and like you're chirping and stuff, and it's fun for me. Like going to play hockey now is like I'm going to play shinny with and drink beers and stuff. Like that's still fun, but it's just like
it
I'm
doesn't
so
have the same competitive edge.
yeah, and I just like I gotta find other like hobbies. Like since I've got out of the army, I've found other hobbies. Uh, and yeah, like without the competitive edge, like it's hard to invest time into playing shinny. Like it is still fun to like if you want to drink beers and go play hockey, but yeah,
Yeah, it.
it's not the
I
same.
mean, I will never. I still have the videos on my phone of that big after the game during in that strong contender, that huge brawl.
Oh yeah. See, you're not gonna. I mean, some beer leagues get brawls and stuff, but you're not. It's
You're
rare.
not. It's not
Nothing like
getting
a
that
bunch of
bad, man.
nothing like a bunch of competitive army guys trying to be better than another unit with with stands full of other army guys who got the day off to watch it, who are all
Yeah.
drinking in the stands like that, and just you're oh my god, man, just getting just chirps from the stand. It's the best.
Oh,
Those
and when
see that.
you steal the other team's roster somehow, get a copy of it with their numbers.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
there you go, and you know their names and you can chirp.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the
And
best.
you got guys in the stands on the other team's bench somehow yelling obscenities onto the ice.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
uh,
Yeah,
uh,
so I don't know. While we're talking about hockey, what do you think about playoffs firing up here in a couple months?
oh man, I can't wait because I mean I'm an Oilers fan,
Oh
so
yeah,
like I
that
grew up an Oilers fan, and this is a good
yeah
year for. I mean it was such a tight race in the Pacific, like such a tight
yeah.
race, and
It
then
was
COVID
so
hit, and it
yeah
actually like I'm not as much as disappointed because of the whole season ended and everything. I was just disappointed because it was such a amazing year for this division, and it
yeah
just kind of sucked how it ended like that.
yeah. It
So
sucks because like everyone wants to see. Obviously, being in Canada and being in Alberta, like when's the last time like the Flames have made the playoffs recently and stuff, and the Oilers had that like that good team, good run a few years ago. But like this year, obviously Vegas is really good, but Edmonton
Yeah,
and Calgary, like there was a chance, there still is a chance, but it's just like with 24 teams, you never know now. But like,
yeah.
oh man, everyone wanted to see the Calgary Edmonton series.
Oh man, I honestly I'd love to see it because I think it'd be just a brawl. Like not maybe not
Yeah.
as much of a brawl as people think, but I also don't want to see it because I know whatever team wins and moves on probably isn't going to make the Cup Finals because they're going to be so destroyed.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good series. But
Oh,
yeah, we'll see
it'd
now.
be
It
worth it though.
sucks.
Yeah,
I still want to see it. It just obviously, you're not gonna have the. It's not gonna be the same without the fans like being in Calgary and Edmonton
yeah,
and the bars all across Alberta being packed with people watching and stuff like that. But
yeah,
yeah, whatever.
yeah,
I'm pumped. Like man, like it makes you appreciate like sports, like things like that when there's been nothing like you can find stuff to do during COVID. Like you've kept busy for sure. Like I've kept pretty busy and I've tried some new
yeah,
stuff, but like, oh man, like you miss sports and like those little things. So I'm
yeah.
pumped. I'm pumped for
Well, it's just that
playoffs.
saying. Like you don't miss anything until it's actually gone. Like you kind of take it for granted. Like everything. If you think about it, you took everything you have for granted. So
Yeah, and it
yeah,
reminded.
when they shut things down, like you can't even like go go sit down at a restaurant. I was like, man, I haven't sat down in a restaurant in months. you
Hmm.
know, and then you kind
Yeah,
of miss that, like going out with the guys and just hanging out. Some you just can't do it. So,
you know what? And
but
like you deployed. It's like it kind of reminds you of like when you're deployed and you get back and you're like so excited to do some stuff. I don't know. It's kind of that was kind of like COVID. It's like you had like no freedom. You couldn't do some of the I don't know what word I'm looking for. Like you couldn't do the things that you like to do, like your fun stuff in life. You couldn't do
yeah,
any of that. And it reminded
yep.
me of like being in the army, like on a long X or deployment. And it's like it's just everything. Like all the fun stuff got taken away. Like yeah,
Yeah,
restaurants and bars and sports, watching sports. Like
and missing
yeah,
everything,
man.
and yeah, no, it definitely. I'd say yes. I remember when this all started going off, and I'm watching people freak out and everything. I was talking to a police friend of mine, and she was like, "Well, it's like we're used to that kind of high stress, kind of like not getting you know." You get told you're going to the field or going on tasking for like 3 months in the summer, which is up here our whole summer, and
Yeah,
it's just like you just kind of get used to like oh well and
yeah,
so and then it's just that people aren't indoctrinated into it and they don't know it. So
yeah,
I was like, yeah, it makes sense. You kind of think about it, like we're just used to that kind of lifestyle, like having people tell you no, you're doing this instead, and you're like, okay, let's
yeah.
roll it
Yeah,
up.
that's true. Yeah, that's true for sure. Like it's we are used to that, but yeah, no. Like I said, I'm pretty pumped for sports, but yeah, I think the playoffs will be exciting. Like even it will be weird like watching whatever without fans and stuff like that, but I still think it's going to be, the teams are still competing for the cup and
Yeah,
there's less to do still. Like there's still I mean more and more is opening and life's slowly going back to normal, which is sweet, but
yeah,
there's still going to be like so many people are going to be watching like because it's one of the only things to do. So I think it's going to be one of the more exciting and like different with the system they're running. We'll probably never see something unique like this again. So I
that's
think it'll
true.
be
Yeah,
sweet. I think you could like it's like a new season because they've been off so long. So like who knows? Like you could have like who knows, man? Like you could see some wild stuff. Like there could be some underdogs like go all the way. I think it'll be like cool to watch this year. But
oh yeah, no, it'll be good because anybody that had injuries or guys that were nursing injuries, they should be fairly fully close to full health now. So
yeah, and that's the
you could,
thing. And like usually by the playoffs, like playoffs are awesome, but yeah, teams are so beat up now. It's like fresh, and it's like
yeah,
that first series. This is going to be fresh teams. Like it's gonna be pretty sweet. And
oh yeah,
obviously, like the NFL coming back this fall too. Like I'm pretty pumped for the NFL. Like I I don't think I was thinking the other day, like I don't think I've done like fantasy football since like we did it with like the work friends.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
I was like, I don't know if I'll do fantasy this year. It seems like it'd be a good year for it, like with not like, but
Hmm.
I'm pumped to watch football too coming back this fall. Like I was thinking about, yeah, like fantasy, like everyone will get into stuff like that when your spare time now has less to do, so you might as well fill it up with
Yeah,
stuff
that's
like
true.
fantasy sports. Oh
Yeah,
man, yeah,
fantasy football was just that's another thing I miss about the army is just having those guys like our core group that we just you go out for beers with, do your fantasy sports like yeah,
yeah,
that was
and you can do fantasy sports online with people you don't know or like even buddies in different locations, but it's fun when you do it like with the guys from work and you can do the draft together
yeah.
and even if you don't like you can go into work and heckle guys for like
That's
being
exactly. I
shitty
was just about to say you can go and chirp your dudes like.
and like oh man yeah I miss that. I don't think like I said I haven't played fantasy in a while and I was thinking about that the other day. I was like oh man like as shitty as I was at fantasy football it was fun like I
Man, I
sucked.
found
What's
I
up?
don't know much about fantasy football or football. I mean I know football and I know the guys, but I'm not like a an all star at it. But I found
Yeah.
football easier than hockey, and I know hockey and I know the guys, just
Yeah,
because I only had to go on throughout the week and make my. I had a whole week to make my changes. In hockey, it's such a dynamic. We're playing
yeah,
every second, like sometimes back to back games. So
yeah. I never really like we ran some hockey ones, but they always the like the interest would always die off just because it's such a long season. It's like it's hard to play fantasy hockey, but
yeah,
fantasy football, like you said, you set your lineup once a week. The games are no, you'll have the one or two games during the week, but Sundays like the whole day you can follow it on your phone,
yeah,
and then you go into work Monday and chirp whoever you beat, and there's yeah,
exactly.
it was always funny. I always said there's every fantasy football league you do, there's always like the same type of people in it. Like there's the people like me who are always bad, like who are always bad and out of the playoffs like halfway through the season, but piss you off because I'm still spending just as much time as everybody else on there, like picking up guys on waivers and sending guys sending guys trades and like beating guys when I was like, oh man, yeah, I was a sleazeball in there. Like I would just try, I would just try and like spoil people by I was in last place, but I'd try and beat people, and then you'd get like I won't say the name, but you get a guy that we worked with who was one of our bosses who's who would frickin' draft the team and then not play all year, and he's a free win for everyone, and then I chirp him, and then he plays the team against me and beats me. It's like, fuck, man, you're not. Oh my god, that's the type of thing
did
that
this
pissed me off. And then
did
like,
this guy oh, I'm trying to remember now. Did this guy have a cartoon like
yeah, he looks like
um
a he looks like Quagmire. Yeah, and then
yeah.
yeah, no, it was fun. And then you'd have like the shitheads who would just send bad trades and then be like, "Well, why didn't you accept that trade?" It's like because you offered me like a bench player for like the best running back in the league.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there's always the same personalities in every one of those things.
Oh yeah,
Oh
man,
man.
it was a good time. Yeah, that's shoot. We almost have to get some guys back together and do that.
Yeah, that's the thing is like yeah, it's tough. When you leave the army, it's like, oh man, it's like you go to another world.
Oh yeah,
It's
100%, man.
weird.
Like I mean,
It's like it yeah, it's like I don't know, I don't know, maybe it's just you get so focused on what you're doing and the transition that you kind of lose touch. And then it's just like the army in general. The army and you're in such a bubble. So like
yeah.
when you could have a good buddy get out of the army when you're in the army, and then like after a
Hmm.
month you just forget. You're like, where did that guy go? It's like it's because you're like in such a bubble from the outside world. It's like once someone gets
Yeah,
out, like it's hard to stay in touch with everybody. It's
it is, and like I've done it twice, right? Like I got out of the one,
mm-hmm.
and then right after Afghanistan, I got back. But I got out knowing I was going to get back in. I just wanted to travel,
Yeah,
and then, but all those guys, like frick, man, I lost contact with all them, and then I got back in, and shoot, like I barely talk to anyone, and mostly it's like on Instagram. I talk to a couple dudes here and there, but
Yeah,
that's
that's the same
it.
for me. It's
Like
like,
you, like I hung out with you like probably like 99% of the time when we were in. And this is like
yeah,
the first time I've talked to you in like 3 years, like on the
yeah,
phone.
yeah. That's the same thing. Like some of the best buddies I had in the army. Like yeah, like, and I still live near all of them. Most of them. Some of
Yeah,
them moved. Some of them moved across Canada and stuff like that. But I still live near a good chunk of them. And yeah,
yeah.
like
Well, yeah,
I'll
you're close to a
I'm
lot of guys. I mean, and I'm only
yeah,
like a little ways. I'm just down the highway.
yeah. And like you said, I'll catch up with you'll catch up with someone by messages for like a few hours, or not even a
hmm
few hours, but like a few messages, and then yeah, then that'll be it. Check in on them, and then a year later, the yearly check in.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it
Yeah,
is. There's a
man.
couple guys messaging. I'm like, "What are you up to?" He's like, "Oh, I'm over here deployed." I'm like, "Oh, that sucks." I'm so glad I'm not
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
when I was
No,
getting
it's
out. I remember them trying to sweeten the. Did they do that with you? They tried to sweeten the deal and get you to sign.
yeah. They like basically when you try to get out, they tried to talk me into staying, and basically like so many people like to the fact that you're trying to like you got like 2 weeks left, you've turned everything in, you're like barely at work anymore, and there's still people like, oh come on, like it's not too late.
Yep.
It's like,
Oh
sorry
yeah.
guys, I whatever, like props to people that like it and can do it forever, like, but like for me, I kind of there's some stuff I didn't get to do that I wanted to do, but
Yeah.
for me I kind of I don't know, like I feel like I felt good leaving. Like I did some fun stuff, and I had some good goes and stuff like that. And I don't know, I
Yeah.
didn't get out. Like I feel like sometimes, people maybe get out after like their first contract and didn't deploy anywhere, didn't get any good like get to travel anywhere, and like they just get out like bitter. But I don't know. Maybe I was a little bit bitter, but I also got I don't know, I was happy with what I got to do while I was in. So
Oh yeah. I mean, when you know it's your time to go, you know it's your time. Like I knew if I was just so, frick, man, I was burnt out from teaching all the time.
mm-hmm.
Is you get
Yeah,
your leadership course, and man, just getting used like course after course after course, and then you go to
yeah, you
Wainwright and you
just
come back and then you're teaching again, and you're just like, man, I spent more
yeah, you're getting
time on like
sent
in Wainwright
everywhere.
in the frickin' bushes than I have in my house. I'm like, I don't even know why I have a house right now.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah, no,
like,
as
at
you
this point, I'm like, if I stay in, I'm probably gonna get charged because I noticed I was starting to like talk back a little bit, like not
mm,
talk back, but like say stuff
yeah,
more than I should be, and I
speak
was
your
like, man,
speak your
if I
mind.
stay in, I'm gonna end up in DB or something. Like,
Yeah, no, yeah, it's yeah, you like you said, as burnt out, but yeah, as you're in longer, like that's why friends that I have that stayed in that go up like the leadership ranks, like props to
yeah,
them that that like that's tough, but because yeah, like you said, I was getting you get used and abused, and you're just burnt out, and then you
exactly.
go to Civvy land, and it's like, oh man, like this is how civvies live, like this is sweet. And then COVID
Oh
hits.
yeah, no kidding. Well, man, that was like, oh man, I couldn't even like they said the wait when I like drove off base that last time. I was just like, it was like a freeing, a complete freeing feeling. And what drove me was like every single like sergeant major, like the old. I'm not even saying the old dinosaurs that are
The
there.
old
Like that's all they
dinosaurs,
know.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
before like the old generation guys, like that's all they could actually do is do the army. Because but now you
yeah,
get guys with like freaking degrees and they're like an infantry private, you know, and
yeah, and
but
that's
they're
the
like
thing.
you're yeah, and they're like, man, you're not gonna be able to survive in the real world. Like we'll keep a cot here for you for when you come crawling back. And I was like, I'm using that to like I had a plan
That's
and I like
motivation. Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah, it was complete motivation. Like I spent the rest of the summer just riding bulls, and then I won a bunch of money, and then I went down south and did my schooling for in Oklahoma, and then I came back, and I was like, man, I ain't coming back. Like,
yeah,
oh,
no, and that's the thing is, if I could talk to like some people now that are on the fence, borderline, like if you're thinking about it, like don't all the props to the army. Like the army gives you a
oh yeah,
lot, like especially
yeah,
in Canada, and like you get paid good and stuff like that,
yeah,
and
you do.
time off and benefits and stuff. But yeah, if you're thinking about getting out, like if there's one thing I could say now, like once you're outside the army, it's like don't be worried that like you're gonna fail, because I find like the more time I spend out and the more veterans I see like in Canada and even the States, it's like, man, the army does, as much as people inside it don't want to admit, it does set you up good. Like there is
Oh yeah.
there's plenty of employers that, and people won't like to say this, like especially in like a combat arms train, they just think you're like skillless. There's still a lot of jobs where you can get good money that people like ex-army people
Oh yeah.
and respect and know like if you take like an army person who's say 25, who maybe has no education, but they've been in, maybe they're starting to get into a leadership role in the army, like you just have like skills that civilians don't have. And the more time I
Yeah.
spend out, the more I see that. And I was like, and then you see like army people who get out and maybe like start a business too, like business, like that's big too. Like,
Oh
cause you
yeah.
have like, it's like, I don't know, it's like certain skills you pick up that you can start like a business or a big one like people don't think about is like start it like, I know a guy or two that started like, got into a franchise. It's like, you're
Right.
set up. Like there's nothing to
Yeah.
be worried about as long as you're
Oh yeah.
motivated. Yeah.
And that's what I find is the army kind of. I don't know if it's the army in general, but I think it's a lot of the combat arms trades that teach motivation and like that kind of more that hard work ethics,
Yeah.
and more specifically like shit's always going to be bad. Like you're going to have those times where like it sucks. Like you
Yeah.
remember living in the like in like a swamp and it sucks,
Mm.
but like it's there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to get better.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
and you just put your head down and work hard and you get there eventually. I mean, not I'm
Yeah.
not gonna say like not all the guys are that checked out, but
Yeah.
even I think the average guy that just kind of sits like that gets through and does his job in the army or in the combat trade especially, like they'll actually end up they'll I think they can do well. And I always tell people I'm like the army's a good the army because you get young kids and stuff coming up and asking about it and stuff because they're thinking about it. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
if you want to join, go ahead and join. That's awesome. But if you want to do something else too, I'm like the army's 100% always going to be there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you can always
exactly.
go and join whenever you want. I mean, I know guys that were like 40 and got in, or actually, I know guys I went through basic years ago. The dude that was like gonna sit like 60. I'm like, man, you're gonna be retired in 5 years, like forcibly retired.
Yeah.
Like so, but still, I was like, it's always going to be there regardless. So if you want to try
Yeah.
something else first, go ahead and do it, and then join the army if you want to after. But if you want to do it, do it. Like you said, it's a good like yeah. I think Canadian Army is one of the highest paid armies in the world, so or militaries in the world.
Yeah, you're
So
making good coin.
you do make good money, especially if you stick it out to like corporal. Like that's a pretty good jump there. So, but
Yeah, man.
even then,
Yeah, like
yeah,
you're a senior corporal. It's good. The money's good,
yeah,
and you're no, like I said, there's good parts. Like the lifestyle is
yeah,
pretty enjoyable, especially if you played like if you're like a sports guy. Like those are the types that in combat arms, anyways. Like you don't have to be a sports guy, but in combat arms, like you'll fit in with the group, and like I said earlier, it's like a sports team mentality. It's
hmm
that's the lifestyle I miss, and it's like you can go in and rag on guys and like chirp and whatever. You go to work functions and like crush beers and go to work go to work the next day and like hungover and throw in dips and hang out. But then you have the
yeah.
hard parts. You have the hard parts of the job too. But
Yeah, yeah. I always say people always like, man, you guys got this much time off. Like, like we get summer leave and Christmas leave, and then like
yeah,
spring break. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, it sounds cool and all, but I'm like, it does balance itself out. Like when you're in like doing like was it usually
training
we have an exercise
courses.
in like the end of the like was it fiscal year? So March we have an exercise. Then you go around to like two more exercises, then a bunch of courses. Like you're
Yeah,
gone
and
for
they're
three,
gonna
4 months into the summer.
loan you out. Yeah, like you said, the courses. Whether you're doing a bunch of them when you're newer or you're teaching a bunch of them, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
like yeah,
exactly.
you're whenever you're not off, you end up being like barely home. But yeah, no, it's good, and yeah, no, like you got out and did your thing, rode bulls, and now you're just I don't know, living the dream, I guess.
Yeah, trying to.
Li- living the Alberta Canadian dreams, riding bulls
Yeah,
and drinking whiskey, shooting guns. Right
trying to shoot
there, man.
guns. Not
Yeah, we
not so
won't.
easy these days.
Yeah, we. Yeah, we won't get into that because that's like a 3 hour politics discussion. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, man, it's we'll see what happens. But you have you been shooting much this summer? Or?
Yeah, I actually picked up a new Glock 19, I don't know, like a couple months ago. I got my old one, so I was like, man, I came into, was it, what did I have? Oh yeah, I sold a vehicle for my old man, and my old man decides he wants to give me, like on Facebook, buy and sell. So it's one of
Yeah,
his vehicles, so he throws me some cash for selling it. I'm like, no, 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 it's your vehicle. He's like, no, no, here, you sold it, you did the work. I'm like, whatever. Took it, and I was like, I need a new Glock. So, um, I mean, it sucks because like my one gun that's now on that list, I just finished building, and I put like there's a fair decent amount of money into that thing, but I just been shooting my pistols a lot lately, a lot. So get doing a lot more of that, and then some long guns. We were punching out to a kilometer the other day, or a couple weeks ago actually, with that. So yeah, just trying to keep busy. I mean, like you said, it's COVID season, but I mean, there's always things you can do. So we've just been shooting and drinking whiskey and watching
there you
Netflix.
go. There you go. That's all you need. That's yeah.
Yeah,
That's what. It's good. Yeah, like you'll have some stuff that you miss, like you said, some stuff you can't do that you might want to do, and sports and stuff. But if
yeah,
you're like if you're like a person who likes the outdoors and stuff,
oh
and
yeah,
whatever, whether it's going like now you can go whatever, you can go camping or you can go hiking, go backcountry exploring and stuff like that. And there's
exactly.
a lot of spots in Canada to do that stuff and
Yeah,
shooting and whatever you want to run outside or whatever. There's a lot you can do, and or you can just stay in and watch Netflix and drink beers like I did for 3 months. But
yeah.
it's
I mean, I mean, if the hills aren't open, like you just be an outlaw and go freaking find somewhere. You know, just because the mountains are closed and you can't do some hikes, just go find somewhere else. Be an outlaw and bend the rules a little bit. They're not saying you can't go on the Crown Line and go hike somewhere. Like, go do
there
it.
you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I'm just trying to plan out the rest of my summer for me, pretty much. I'll probably be
Yeah,
spending a lot of time outdoors this summer, and hopefully I'll
may as
find
well.
some. Hopefully I'll find some stuff to do. I was thinking about maybe taking a couple weeks and driving across the country to see some family and friends, but we'll see how
Oh yeah,
everything plays out. It's such a shit show right now. We'll like with everything, so we'll see where
yeah.
we're at in another month, but I'm sure things will
I think
be.
in the next month. What are we in, like phase two right now or something? I haven't even been watching, to be honest. Like,
I don't even know, man. Like I think everything's slowly coming back, and uh, yeah, no, I'm hopeful that July, August can salvage some stuff and have some fun.
yeah. Oh, I'm sure we'll be good. We'll it's gonna everything. It'll all be back to normal. I mean, just a bad year. So, I mean,
Bad
we
year,
started out
bad year.
this year's been.
I've had plenty of bad years. Well, let's add this one onto the tally.
Oh man, this year was funny because I mean not funny, but I mean you gotta go with that dark humor because I mean when did it start out, like people were saying July 1st everything was normal. My July 1st, or sorry, January 1st started out like terrible. Like I mean I woke up New Year's Day and I was, I'd wake up in the morning, I'd make coffee with my French press, and I'm one of those guys that, like, if something's not working, I like to put my face right down close to it. So
Yeah.
my French
Oh
press
god.
wasn't pushing down, so I stick my freaking head right over top of the thing, and then it finally lets go, and this boiling water sprays all over my face. Like, first thing, January 1st, I'm like, okay. And then the rest of the year from there has just been, it is what it is.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic. Yeah, no, it's been the strangest, weirdest year ever. I think for
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh,
Everyone
yeah.
who's alive right now, aside from, maybe people who are around for like the
The Great
I don't know.
Depression.
The great to the Great Depression wars and stuff, but I think
Yeah.
everyone in 2020 is like, oh my god, like what a year. But yeah, we'll
Well, this too shall pass.
yeah, everything passes. We'll come out of it better. I'm sure everybody will. Well, most
Oh
people
yeah,
will, and gain something from it. But
hopefully, yeah.
yeah, man, we'll see what happens. But yeah, no. Listen, it was great just kind of shooting the shit with you here and catching up and stuff. And thanks for popping on to talk a little bit.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I'd love to maybe set up if you want to come on and guest with me and have somebody on. You can guest host with me. We can shoot the shit with somebody else, some other guest or something like that, and we'll see that in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Thanks a lot again, and thanks everybody. This is another episode. This is Devin, the whiskey drinking Albertan here.